Hey guys, it's me again, Eric here at Mountaintop 9, and tonight I want to talk about the Danzig album from 2010, and it's called Deth, Red, Sabaoth. Very interesting spelling there on the Sabbath. I remember when this album came out, I didn't know exactly how you were supposed to fucking pronounce that. I was like, Sabaoth? What the fuck does that say? But then I saw Danzig doing an interview, and that's how he pronounced it. I was like, okay, Deth, Red, Sabaoth. Interesting spelling, though. It's a typical thing from Danzig, where he likes to use alternate spellings and stuff. Kind of gets your brain working. It makes you ponder things, because he kind of introduces you to spellings that you never even knew existed, so that's fascinating. Another thing I like about this album right away is the very cool cover art. I love that red background, and I like the skeletal woman standing there with the candles in the cemetery. That's really moody and really cool, very macabre. Love it. Great cover. It's probably the best album cover he had since Satan's Child, I'd say. Satan's Child had two cool covers. This one is definitely better than the cover for Luciferai. I mean, that wasn't very imaginative, and it's definitely cooler than Circle of Snakes. I thought the Circle of Snakes cover was a little bit bland to the eyes. It just wasn't very visually appealing. Now, this was the first album that Danzig had put out in 6 long years. I mean, Circle of Snakes came out in 2004, so it was quite a long wait. Now, in between 2004 and 2010, Danzig had released stuff like Black Aria 2, and most importantly of all, he had put out the Lost Tracks of Danzig, which is a really cool compilation. It has some really great songs on it, and I need to make a video talking about my favorites from that one. I really got a kick out of the Lost Tracks of Danzig. That's a must-own for sure. So you had those things that kind of tide you over in the meantime. Now, as far as the lineup on this album, on guitar, once again, we've got Tommy Victor. I mean, he's basically a staple of the band at this point. And on drums, we've got Johnny Kelly of Typo Negative fame blasting away on those drums. As far as bass was concerned, Tommy and Glenn shared bass duties on this one. And yeah, now that we've kind of got a little bit of the introduction out of the way, let's go ahead and start digging into this one, track by track. The first song is a no-nonsense rocker called Hammer of the Gods. And apparently on this album, Danzig decided that he wanted to steamroll the listener right away. He didn't want to fuck around with any moody, ambient pieces to introduce the album like he did on the previous two. You know, he had instrumental type stuff on Luciferai and Circle of Snakes to kind of set a tone. Nope, not on this one. Danzig comes out all guns a-blazing at the beginning of this album, and it's full of raging guitars and howling vocals. And I'll tell you what, you get the immediate impression that Danzig's voice, it sounds a bit rejuvenated, like it was well rested. There's more of a rich tone coming back to his vocal quality on this. You notice that right away, right here at the beginning. So something in between Circle of Snakes and Deth, Red, Sabaoth, maybe he rested his voice a bit more, but there's a little bit more of a rich tone. It's not 1994 level Danzig vocal quality, not back to that, but definitely sounds revitalized. Sounds really good here, full of energy. And I like in this song, there's this cool little breakdown part, and that kind of reminds me of stuff like Brand New God. But unfortunately, he doesn't sing on this breakdown like he did on that song, which was very, you know, moody and moving. On this, he just does some foreboding whispers, kind of some spoken word type stuff. But I still like that. It adds a little bit of atmosphere there in that part of the song. Now, I gotta say, as far as the guitar sound goes on this opening song, the sound is really bleeding together. There's no separation in the guitar tone or room for it to breathe. I really feel like it's kind of a sloppy tone here, and the riff would have been a bit more hard-hitting if it had room to breathe. But as it is, this is a very cool, heavy opening song. It's full of energy, and, you know, it gets passing grades with me. Hammer of the Gods is a good album opener. Track number 2 is called The Revengeful, and this song starts off with a highly repetitive guitar riff, and it's got this ear-bleeding squeal at the end, as only Tommy Victor can deliver, and then Danzig comes in over top of that, and he sounds like he's ready to pummel someone's face in, just full of anger and vitriol, but the thing is, these verse sections with that repetitive, irritating riff aren't very good. Where this song really shines is in the magnificent chorus section. When Danzig comes in on this powerful chorus, it is utterly devastating and transformative. I'm talking Lucifuge level shit here, folks. The way Danzig's voice is layered in this chorus, it just lays waste to everything in its path. It's one of the most insanely catchy chorus sections I've ever heard in any song. So this is a very bipolar song. You have the very mediocre and irritating verse sections, but you have this chorus that is just magnificent. It's just so tremendous sounding and powerful and just full of life and strength. And so this song is really good. Just for the chorus alone, you have to listen to The Revengeful. Rebel Spirits is track 3, and it's a dark, adventurous song ripe with haunting atmosphere. The drums in this one really are full of strength and rage, and they pound away, and they really remind me of the classic Samael album, Ceremony of Opposites. If you've never heard that album, you definitely need to seek it out. But anyway, Danzig on here, he also sounds full of sinister emotion and menace, and I really like the affecting way that he delivers lines like 1,000 miles, 1,000 seas. He sounds really great in those parts. This is Danzig in full-on experimental mode on this song. You know, when Danzig was experimenting and he was really in his prime on albums like Danzig 4, this song has that feeling to it. It has that scope. This song is very artistically minded, and during the verse sections, the way the guitars are layered and the way they all come together, they weave together like this dark, evil symphony. I really love that. It's almost a symphonic sound. And, you know, other than an utterly horrendous sounding guitar solo, this song is really good, and I definitely recommend this one. Rebel Spirits. Don't miss this one. Alright, now we've arrived at track 4, and it's an amusing little song called Black Candy, and the most noteworthy aspect of this song is the fact that Glenn himself performs the drums on this one. And if you remember the way he drummed on classic songs like Human Pony Girl, well then you know that Danzig can totally annihilate and pound on the drums like nobody's business. I mean, he just utterly just pounds them into submission. He beats on those drums like a possessed werewolf. Now, vocal-wise, Danzig is crooning like Elvis on this one, and he really cuts loose during the chorus, but other than him performing the drums and whatnot, this song isn't really that noteworthy in any other respect. It's a stock, basic, very simple, stripped-down song. It's amusing for what it is, but I'll tell you what, give me Little Whip over this one any day of the week. On a Wicked Night is up next, and I'm sorry to say, but I think this song is boring as all fuck. It's amazing that this song had a music video made for it and everything else, because, I mean, it's just truly lackluster. The guitar is monotonous, and then when the distortion kicks in, forget about it. I mean, it's just an appalling tone. It makes your fucking ears bleed, and then over top the guitar, which is totally unengaging, the vocals are also. I mean, let's face it, Danzig, his vocals are supposed to be the star of the show, especially in a song like this, but there isn't a good, catchy vocal pattern to even grasp onto. So this song just doesn't have the hooks required to draw the listener in my opinion. I mean, even if this song was recorded in 1990 with John Christ and company, this song would still be mediocre. I can't be the only person that thinks that that chorus is just utterly boring. Also, another thing I want to mention about this song is there's a passage in it where Danzig says, "Haven't seen you for a while, kinda miss your deadly smile." only it doesn't sound like he's saying deadly. It sounds like he's saying dilly. Okay? It sounds like he's saying, kinda miss your dilly smile. And what that makes me think of is there's an ice cream and burger chain called Dairy Queen. And they have these ice cream treats called dilly bars. So every time I hear this fucking song, I hear him saying, kinda miss your dilly smile. It makes me think that, you know, whoever the fuck he was talking about, it makes me think she was stuffing her face full of fucking dilly bars or something. So that's not the most attractive imagery, you know. Usually Danzig's writing about some sexy chick or whatever, but I'm thinking of some slovenly bitch that just has ice cream dripping all over her goddamn body. So I'm getting way off on a tangent here. On a Wicked Night, I don't like it. It just is what it is. I can see where some people might like it, but I honestly don't know why. It just doesn't do it for me. Okay, moving on from that shit, now we've reached my favorite song on the album, and it's called Deth, Red Moon. And let me tell you, this one just has such a timeless feeling to it. I love the big echoing production on this. It's so warm and full and rich, and Danzig is just displaying such passion, such elegance vocal-wise. This has got some good vocal hooks on it. This is what I want to hear in a Danzig song, is right here on this song, Deth, Red Moon. You really feel like you're drawn into this melancholy, desolate world when you listen to this song. This is the type of song that where Danzig composed and he got it perfect because it draws you in and takes you on a dark journey. So I highly recommend this song, Deth, Red Moon. Track 7 is called Juju Bone, and from the minute you hear those opening guitar notes, you know that you're in for a cheesy ride, let me tell you. I mean, you just instantly picture a 1950s greaser. You know, those dudes that would wear like a white t-shirt and a leather jacket. You know, the type of stuff you'd see in Grease or in The Outsiders. You know, one of these guys and he's out working on his car, and then later on he goes and he bangs his girlfriend at the drive-in. That's the kind of image you get from this fucking song, and he rides around on his motorcycle, and you know, Danzig, you know, he howls away on this one. He sounds really full of bravado during that chorus, so this has got that classic Danzig bluesy old-time feel to it. This one also had a music video made for it, and from what I remember of it, I only watched it a couple times, it was pretty cheesy. Danzig has a penchant for making cheesy music videos, but yeah, this song is pretty good. I like this one. Night Star Hell is next, and it begins with a big, oppressive air of doom. It creates a very suffocating atmosphere right from the jump. And then the verse riff, it really lurches along. It's very lumbering, and it really draws you in as well. And then Danzig, he just kind of follows along with the riff pattern. In this song, Danzig isn't the star of the show at all. His vocals don't really take center stage. It's more about the atmosphere of the heavy, slow riffs. And the chorus itself is just boring, really. It's just him repeating Night Star Hell over and over again. But like I kind of alluded to, that's not what this song is about. It's not really about Danzig's vocals so much, at least not for me. It's more about the atmosphere of doom and the heavy riffs. And listen for that fast-paced riff towards the end of the song. If that fast guitar riffing that comes in there doesn't remind you of something off of Danzig 3, then I don't know what will, because it really sounds like something that would have come from that era. I can just picture this being a castaway riff that they left off of the How the Gods Kill album. It just has that feel to it. It has that punch and force to it. So overall, Night Star Hell, this is a decent track, and I think it's placed perfectly on the album as far as where it's at on the track list. Alright, track 9 is called Pyre of Souls in Canticle, and this one, it doesn't have any lyrics. It's just this very well-written and well-played piece of music that creates deliciously dark atmosphere. And Danzig does some really great How the Gods style wailing in this one, you know, full of sadness and emotion. The music and the vocal work from Danzig on this one, it creates images in your head without using any actual words. It's very evocative and very moving. reading. This feels like something that could be in a great film. It's so vivid, and it's so great and so well executed. There are some very nicely placed piano notes that are mixed in with the repeating guitar pattern, and they just build up even more dark, sorrowful ambience. This song just really burrows right inside you and just kind of tugs at you. And I'll tell you what, Danzig's vocals towards the end of this, he begins to hit some very high notes, and it's just so surprising that he could even still hit notes like that at this juncture in his career. I mean, his voice really soars on this one, and it makes me very happy to say how good he sounds on this song. As a Danzig fan, I was just astounded at this piece of music. So Pyre of Souls and Canticle, just a great piece of music. Track 10 continues the funeral pyre of damnation with Pyre of Souls, Seasons of Pain. And I'm sad to say, but this song doesn't have the same raw immediacy and atmosphere that Incanticle delivered so well. This one just kind of lumbers along, and it's way too long. And Danzig's vocals on this one are nothing to write home about. It's just kind of a bland performance on this one, in my opinion. It's just Danzig going through the numbers, you know what I mean? It's nothing that really moves you and draws you in. And in addition to being too long, this song just has too much open space. And in that open space, there are just these really atrocious guitar solos from Tommy that I'm just not a fan of. They just do not sound pleasing to my ears. So I'm sad to say, Pyre of Souls, Seasons of Pain, it's not bad. Like, I don't think this is dreadful. There isn't a dreadful song on this album, but it's definitely lackluster, and that's sad to say because Pyre of Souls and Canticle was so damn good. But yeah, this one is just a little bit too bland, and it just never really goes anywhere, so I don't really recommend this track. Alright, my friends, we've reached the final track on this album, and it's called Left Hand Rise Above. And let me tell you, this is the perfect way to end a Danzig album. This song is a desperate ode to longing and loneliness and isolation, but also about finding a power, an inner force within yourself, and to forge ahead and overcome obstacles. You know, Danzig has always been good at writing songs in this vein, similar to stuff like Devil's Plaything on Lucifuge, or Without Light I Am on Eluciferi. You know, this song has that feel. You know, the sadness drips from every note. There's this suffocating sense of melancholy, but smothered inside all of that sadness and sorrow is this strength. It's this power. Danzig is singing about the resolve to overcome the darkness in the world. And, you know, for me, he sounds really great in the chorus. The chorus part is delivered with the utmost passion, okay? He's really wailing away on that, but for me, where the magic truly lies is within the plaintive and very sorrowful verse passages. That's where the magic really happens for me, and where this song really grabs and twists at you, okay? This song has a lot of heart and a lot of feeling in it, and for me, this is one of Danzig's all-time classics right here. It's Left Hand Rise Above, and yeah, a very fitting end to a dark and bitter album for sure. Alright, my friends, that's about all I have to say about Deth Red Sabbath. Keep staying tuned to my channel because I'll have another Danzig music review out sometime in the future. I'll probably do Black Laden Crown next, since that seems to be the path that I'm on. And then after that, I'll go back and do the older Danzig albums. Also get some Sam Hain reviews in there as well. So I thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, click like. If you want to comment, leave me a comment. And don't forget to click subscribe if you're new to my channel. And I'll see you guys next time.